Go. Hey, we're
There we
live.
are.
Yay. What's up, Stu?
Hey, Jim. What's
Did you
new?
ha- did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I did.
Cool. I
Everybody
did.
came to me. I didn't have to travel anywhere, do anything. People just came to me. So that was nice.
That means you're getting old
Yes,
because it's always been that you always went to the old person's house.
that is true.
If you think about your whole life, you always went to the oldest person's house. And everybody came to me this year, and they came on Saturday instead of Thursday, which was much more convenient for me. And yeah, it means you're getting old. So, but it's a good thing, especially with the price of gas, right?
Yes.
It's like that Monty Python song, always look on the bright side of your life, that kind of thing. So, anyway, what are we talking about today? Oh, the reason we're late. Sorry we're late, but the reason we're late is because I was walking down the stairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's these two guys in my front yard. And I'm like, well, my backyard, I don't know. It's at the beach. You need to come down and visit and see this place. I think you'd really like it. Anyway, two guys out by my gate. And I'm like, heck yeah, man, I need to go get my gun. And then I was like, I recognize the one dude. It's a surveyor. So it takes forever to get building permits and stuff. And we want to build a garage. It's taken 6 months to get a building permit just to build a friggin' garage. And the surveyor's here. We finally got the building permit, and the surveyor's here to lay off the foundation. It's going to be 36 by 42. It's going to be the size of the garage. It's going to be 2-story. My whole upstairs is going to be my office. So it's going to be pretty cool.
That does.
And then downstairs, I'm going to have like a real gym, like gym. I'm going to get a Jim's gym. There you go. And I'm going to get a pull down machine and some other stuff, man. I'm going to do it up because this is it.
I like it.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm excited. So that should probably be done by around April, which will be good. So, all right. Well, we're losing the folks. So I guess they don't care about my gym or why I'm late. But go away. I don't care. So what do we want to talk about today?
Jim, I'm sitting here trying to find that damn thing and I can't find it. What we're talking about.
I will forward it to you because I have it. I am prepared.
Yeah, you hit me. I thought I was prepared too. I usually just pull it right up and I don't see it.
Yeah, well, I just forwarded it to you. Hey, Linnell, I'm doing okay. How are you?
Maybe it has been a few weeks. It's just deep in my
It's been 2 weeks. You sent it to me on November 17th. So hell, that was like last year almost.
Damn. Okay.
So, and hello, Underground Reach from YouTube. I don't know your real name, but that's a pretty good pseudonym. Depending on where you are, Underground Reach could be mean several things.
All right. Perfect. I got
it. Okay. Should we
Sorry
reset?
About that,
Should we reset?
Yeah, we started.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Jim and Stu Show. It's starting now. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. Hey Jim, how was your Thanksgiving?
My Thanksgiving was tremendous. I actually managed not to eat myself into a food coma. What's up, Carlin? And Terry's not been feeling well, so I actually cooked Thanksgiving dinner, man. I cooked she helped a little, but I cooked turkey breast in the air fryer. Have you ever done a turkey breast in the air fryer?
I've done a whole turkey in the air fryer.
How'd you get in an air fryer? How'd you get a whole turkey in an air fryer? Or did you talking about like a deep fryer or an air fryer?
Air. It's kind of like, you ever seen the New Wave oven?
Yeah.
I tell you what, man, that's some good chicken and turkey that comes out of a New Wave oven.
Yeah.
And it cuts the time in half.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So I was shocked. I do have to tell you my turkey, my deep fried turkey story. Okay. This is funny. So this was about, gosh, man, it's got to be 20 years ago. And Terry and I had just moved into the little white house, just gotten out of the trailer park. And it's Thanksgiving, very first Thanksgiving, man. We've been in that house for about 5 months, and my business had turned around. I was super, super thankful about everything in my life, and not that I'm not now, but I was very conscious of it. And the next door neighbor was a lady named Kay Kelly. She's since gone to the great beyond. She has a son named Clinton. Clinton is a redneck he's something. So he's outside this is when deep frying turkeys really had come into vogue about 20 years ago. And he's sitting there with a couple 6-packs of questionable beer on his mom's front porch, and he's got a deep fried turkey thing going. And so Clinton wasn't the brightest. So I walked up to him like, "Hey, dude, what you doing?" "I'm deep frying turkey, man." I said, "Oh, okay. How are you going to know when it's done?" "Oh, man, she's got one of them plastic thermometers in her, and when she pops, I know she's done." And then I start smelling the plastic burn. I said, "Terry, let's go before he launches this damn thing over the house." And so that was Clinton, and yeah, man, shoot, it's got a plastic thermometer in it. She'll pop. So there you go. How not to do it. He obviously didn't watch YouTube. So.
Yeah, you can set things on fire with those things.
Yeah, I think so. All right. So
all right, we ready? I'm finally squared away. Thanks for the
segue.
Time delay for me, because I was not squared away this morning.
I got all kind of old man stories, so you just let me know when we're doing the regular show.
All right, so here's the start of the show. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so after reading some of the comments from the Sales Copywriting Content Marketing Hacks Facebook group, we should do another segment on where to start.
Okay.
It never fails. It's kind of like in my business, there's always a new 18-year-old kid that's looking at starting this fitness journey. And I find that in the Facebook group, there's a lot of people who are now members of the Jim Edwards Method Premium that have some wizards and scripts available to them, and they're just wondering where to start.
Right. Okay.
And I have a particular 1, 2, 3 punch that I love to use.
Well, let's hear it. I can't wait.
Number 1, you got to start with the Avatar Wizard.
Okay.
Now, you can play around with some headline wizards if you want to, start off real light. But but if you really want to square away what you're writing for and who you're writing to, you have to start with the Avatar Wizard.
Okay. So the stew method.
Yeah. And then I take it into the hook story offer script, or the hidden persuasion wizard with specific project or products.
Okay.
And I top it off with a Halbert headlines and title wizard. Okay. That is what I use to make really good sales copy content.
Okay, hang on. I can't write as fast as you can talk. Okay. So that's okay. So this is the stew method. Okay. Calling this the stew method. Start with the Avatar Wizard, then do the hook story offer script, or which other one?
Or the hidden persuasion wizard.
Okay.
That's a really good one for specific products, I have found.
Yes.
Almost allows you to review your own product.
Okay. And then the third thing
is top it off with a really good headline, and I find Halbert's are my favorites.
Okay.
Headline or title.
Okay. I like it. So if I could just kind of riff on this for a second.
Sure.
Is the first thing you got to do if you want to create some cool content is figure out your who. Everything comes back to the who. Who are we targeting with this? Then what you're saying is, okay, I'm going to create my content, my what, okay? But then most people will start with the hook. But what I'm hearing from you is that you're going to create your content first, and then once that kind of marinates, and because a lot of times you start out creating one thing, and you know this after writing for the last 20 some odd years, what you set out to write and what you end up with may not be what you set out to do, which is fine because you take an idea and run with it. But a lot of people will start with the hook and then try and make the content to go with the hook. What you do is make great content and then say, okay, now it's time to get the hook. Let me find a great hook that fits this great content that I created, instead of let me create a great hook and then crap, it's not, my content's not matching my hook. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I would say 95% of the time I will do it like that. However, every now and then I get a real clever hook that inspires good content.
Right. Like, have you ever seen a Spec Ops candidate cry?
Yeah. Like once I heard that one, I was like, I got a great article for that.
Right. Okay. Let me just say hi to everybody. Hey, Carlin. Hey, Leslie. Hey, Vicky. So I think that this is great. And me personally, the one that's really, and you know, I go in phases. You know what I mean? Like I go on kicks where I do stuff. We're actually getting ready to release a new wizard in content marketing scripts. I've been using this one for a while now, but just haven't released it. But we're going to release the word of the day script. This thing is amazing. This is, if you want to do like super quick content, this will create an amazing concentrated content dump that you can do in under 2 minutes. And it's really amazing. So we're going to be releasing that in content marketing scripts. We're actually going to be doing a webinar next week to promote that to my list. Right now, the only people that have access to it are the people that are in that join through the John Maxwell team, or the people who are in the Jim Edwards Method Premium. But we're going to be releasing content marketing scripts next week. So this is a big one for me. And you know, it's funny. What we try and do is come up with patterns that help us to do what we need to do, create that value, and create it really, really fast. And so I know in the podcast, we're going to be talking about number one content marketing hack as far as repurposing stuff. But I wanted to share something with you that I was thinking about this morning when I was on my walk that fits perfectly with this, because this is kind of your quickie pattern for getting something done fast.
Yes.
One of the things that I want you and I to do, Stu, and this will harken back to the days of when we were doing Media Marketing Academy, the DIY Media Marketing Academy, is this fits with the theme of also what we're going to be talking about. And that is, I think it would be great if we could go through the main wizards, the main scripts, and take like 10 minutes and create a checklist for each of those scripts and say, okay, you've done this now. What can you or should you do with this? You know, turn this into, it doesn't, and a lot of them will be similar. So, I mean, it's not going to be a huge amount of work, but I think it would be highly valuable to say, okay, turn this into a video and post it over here. Do this, put it over there. Do this, put it over there. Anyway, I think that would be valuable. You guys who are here live, tell me whether you think that would be valuable or not. You fill out a form, you create the content, and then it tells you what to do with it or gives you suggestions. But I don't know if you remember a while back, I told you about my MTV strategy. You know, I was just things were just getting too complicated in my life. And so we said, you know, basically you want to post every day. And you basically can do meme, text, or video. Now, meme was code for true memes or graphics or pictures or quote cards or stuff like that. It's basically an image. So that was pretty good for just making it feel less daunting to be able to do stuff. But then this morning, I guess I'll just change my. I was on my walk, and I was thinking, which is always a good thing, especially when it's like 32 degrees out and the wind is blowing. You like how I did that, Stu?
Very cool.
So I was thinking to myself, okay, this is kind of the what you're gonna make. If you think about it, this is the what you're gonna make. I'm gonna bake a cake. I'm gonna bake it's that kind of thing. But then the how of coming up with the content, I started trying to come up with something that would make it really easy. And what I came up with was Q3. As far as, okay, what are you going to do to make your meme, your text, your video? Okay. Just thinking about and this is speed. This has to do, with doing stuff fast because nobody has enough time. So the first thing is creating content by answering questions. So if somebody asks a question, that's everything all baked into one. As far as somebody's interested, your target audience is interested in it. You've got the ideation part taken care of, and actually, if somebody's asking a question like on the Facebook group, you also have distribution taken care of too. If you remember the 3 steps of ideation, creation, and distribution, that's the core of content marketing. If somebody asks a question on a group and you answer the question, you have done all 3 phases of content marketing. You just need to leverage it a little better, which we can talk about later. Now, the next thing are quotes. So we've got the quote wizard inside of the Jim Edwards Method Premium and also inside of Content Marketing Scripts. And then thinking about quick, so questions, quotes, quick stuff. So if somebody asks a question, you can answer that so many different ways. You can do a listicle, you can do a 60-second tip, you can do, you can basically use virtually any of the content creation scripts that we have to answer a question. It just depends on how much time, how much you want to actually create. As far as quotes, we got the quote wizard, but one of the things that I was thinking about again this morning was you could literally build a business around just doing a quote or a couple quotes every single day. If you've got a target audience of people that are all interested in the same thing, you pick a topic that they're interested in, and then you literally just do quotes by people that are relevant to them. So like one of the things that I'm going to start doing, because I don't know if I mentioned this yet, I've been asked to write a monthly column for Dan Kennedy's newsletter. I'm going to be writing a monthly column every single month, real column for real print newsletter.
Nice.
It's like the old days, man, like Back to the Future.
Perfect.
So one of the things that I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start doing copywriting quotes. So I'm going to go back through all my copywriting books that I have all over the place, and I'm going to pull quotes from famous copywriters, and I'm going to use the quote wizard to create content around the quotes of other people to elevate myself to the same level as the people who are avowed experts, the granddaddies of copywriting. But this is so fast because, again, you can leverage the fame of someone else who's super famous to put yourself up to the same level as them. And again, their idea, the ideation part, the idea just comes from a quote. And you need look no further than Google to put in, whoever. I could put in Dan Kennedy quotes, John Carlton quotes, you know, all kinds of stuff. So that's not going to be a problem.
Hey, Jim,
And then, yes,
then tag them in that post if
yes,
they're still alive and have social media.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then the quick stuff is stuff like a meme or a quote card. Typically, just, you know, typically it's graphic stuff, little infographic, something like that, 1 minute thing, 60-second thing. But now I want you to think about this. And again, it's one of those things that if you just post once every once in a while, it's not going to do anything for you. You've got to post consistently, and you've got to post a variety. Otherwise, people are just going to ignore you. So, and you got to post in different places. Different stuff in different places keeps you from getting bored, keep them from getting bored. But how many times a day do you post, Stu?
Usually 2, sometimes 3.
In how many different places?
All of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably do an article up on Twitter. You know, like I write for military.com. I'll post that on Twitter. I'll post some of mine on Twitter as well, but then I'll do videos on it on both Instagram and TikTok, and then they all get directed to Facebook as well. So it's
right. So the bottom line is you're not posting once a week and thinking something's going to happen.
No,
you're doing some kind of post a couple, 3 times a day.
Yes.
And so into some people might think, oh my God, I don't have time for that. But if answering a question and distributing it took you using the wizards and stuff, let's say this took you 20 minutes. Okay. Once you gotten comfortable with stuff, doing a quote thing and doing that, let's say that took you 20 minutes. And then doing some kind of a quick little meme quote card or something like that. Let's say that took you 10 minutes. Okay. That's 50 minutes of effort a day. It's not too much to ask. If you think you're going to post one little meme on Facebook and build your business using content marketing, you are fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself. This is something that takes a commitment, but the commitment is so leveraged that I can't think of anything else I'd rather do with all the other things that we can, you know, all the other benefits and things that come from content marketing we're not going to talk about right now.
Another thing that I think one of the reasons why you and I work well together is that both fitness and content marketing require consistency and commitment.
Yeah.
And your folks that are your audience for both of us need to see that you are committed and consistent with your message.
Right.
Otherwise, they won't be.
Right. And they also people ignore you until they see you're serious.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. Is everybody is knee-jerk reaction. I've never seen this person before. Oh, they're doing something new. God knows. I mean, I remember that with Russell and ClickFunnels 7 years ago or whenever. I think 6, 7. I think it's been 7 years when he first came out with ClickFunnels. I'm like, man, I ain't doing that. Mm-hmm. And then 6 months later, he was still doing it. It was growing. I said, oh, maybe he's committed to this. Let's talk about funnel scripts. And now 7 years later, he's committed. But yeah, it's commitment and consistency. And even if anyway. It's probably enough on that. So, but this is kind of my new thing of the MTV Q3 is how I'm looking at this. It's like find a question, answer a question, using one of the wizards quotes, doing a quote really, because this is kind of, you don't have to think. You really don't have to think. You find a quote and you can leverage somebody else's name in a nice way. And then quick, just something lickety split and quick. It could be a meme, it could be a quote card, or it could be something curated. That's the easiest thing, is just to share something cool. That counts,
Yeah. Yeah. I did all 3 yesterday.
Nice.
So, but I typically do that. I will use quotes from others. I'll use testimonies as a quote sometimes, and write an article around a testimony. Um, yeah, I even made a new avatar the other day for FBI candidates because that's like my best seller. Instead of like the spec ops candidate, like most people think. Most people don't even realize that my best seller was one FBI workouts, but
I didn't
also
know that.
that I even had one.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I decided, you know what, I need to write an avatar just for FBI candidates because it's obviously a good market. Let's see what else you can do with it. And so, yeah, created the avatar for the FBI candidate, wrote an article around that with a great headline like, "Are you sick of the corporate world, or 25 years old and tired of this desk job?
You want to shoot somebody?
Want to walk around with a gun on your hip?"
That's right. And be a G. Want to be a G man or a G? I guess I want to be a G person.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, that's cool. So anyway,
Yep.
I think that's it for the. But this this is really resonating with me. With some of the stuff that's going on in the home world. I've got to get even more lean and mean and efficient with what's going on here. And so getting in my mind.
You know what I'd like to do for future Jim and Stu show topics, like the next 2 or 3 weeks?
What?
We'll break down Q3 and really focus on some of the way, because I got 10 different questions that I like to
Sure.
discuss. When I get how to do this exercise, which one's better, what the most commonly asked question, that's a great one, a unique question that you've never seen before. Believe it or
Right.
not, sometimes those happen even when you've been writing for 20 years. I'm like, wow, never thought of that.
Yeah.
So,
And I think one of the things that we could also do would be to use that time to say, okay, if I was going to answer this question, which wizard would I use? And then we can look at the wizards and then maybe even then work on the checklist thing that I suggested. Where
I
you say,
love it.
okay, you've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
this done. Now, what would you do with this? What would you do with this?
Yep.
I think that'd be a cool thing to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
In fact, that's what the podcast is going to be about a little bit.
What?
Yeah, it's very similar, kind of.
All right. Well, I think we should have a musical transition. So here, I will give us a musical transition.
Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
I like
Hey,
it.
everybody. Welcome. I'm glad you like it. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Sales Copywriting and Content Marketing Hacks podcast, episode 140. I'm your host, Jim Edwards, along with my co-host and trusty podcast producer, Mr. Stu Smith. Welcome, Stu.
Welcome, Jim. Thank you for having me.
Certainly so. The show wouldn't exist without you. I can tell you that. We'd still be on episode 2. And so I just want to say that it's pretty freaking cool that we are at episode 140. Holy crap. I don't even remember what we talked about. We could go back and just start redoing past episodes and no one would even notice. But that's super cool. So what are we talking about today, Stu?
Well, a few weeks ago on the last podcast, remember that chart you came up with?
Uh-huh.
That was a really good chart. It was about all the different ways to create content marketing. And I thought podcast 140 should be kind of explaining that just a little bit more in detail, and maybe even digging a little deeper, taking one piece of content and let's make it 10 different methods repurposed.
Okay.
So if you want, I'll share my screen with you and just show you the what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that would be great because I'm trying to find the thing we did before.
You'll see it.
Okay.
You'll see what I'm talking about here in a second.
All right.
So can you see this?
I can.
You want me to make it bigger?
No, it's fine. It's
Okay.
funny. I did the exact same thing with the exact same piece of software. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. So
So awesome.
Yeah, you made this the other day. I added a few more things because I was like, oh, we got to add webinar in there. I forgot all about that as a mode. So remember, you had message, channel, and mode.
Okay.
And the types of messages you were talking about, kind of like the MTV being the abbreviated version. This was everything. This
Yeah.
was a tip, an opinion, a review, a critique, a list, a rant, a secret, curated material, a demonstration, and then of course article and a blog post. That's your message. And then you got channels, all your social media channels you can name: blog post, email, newsletter. Do you remember this, what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I posted this up on the Facebook group as well, and just said, let's think about how we're going to do this, and use all of these as a way, if you're really having like a writer's block or something, you can think of this. Can open up more than 600 combinations for you.
Well, I think also if you wanted to just over there to the left, is what we talked about on the Jim and Stu show about questions, quotes, and then even just questions and quotes. What if we think about, okay, what would, it's almost like, give me a second here. And yes, I'm thinking out loud and I hope that's okay. But you know what? It's our podcast. We can do whatever we want. But is it okay if I do some thinking out loud here, Steve?
Sure. I can see it.
Okay. So I'm going to do something kind of cool here. I'm going to take the thing that you were sharing, and I'm going to stop sharing your thing real quick, okay?
Oh, that's fine.
And so we're going to take this and we're going to expand on it. So look at this. Put this over here, and we're going to add that to our little board. Now it's on the board. So you guys saw that on Stu's thing, but if we got message channel mode, then what we got is idea, and then we got script / wizard. So the idea could come from a question. The idea could come from, and maybe do I need to write louder? Do I need to write bigger?
I can see it.
Okay. So it could come from a question. It could come from a quote. It could come from a phrase. Where else do ideas come from, or where else?
The nether regions.
Okay, inspiration. Yeah, potty time while I'm sitting on the can. Some of my best ideas come from, and we need an acronym for this, but they come when I'm walking. They come not when I'm running, but when I'm walking. When I'm running, I'm focused on like running. But when I'm walking, ideas come in the shower or on the pot. Those are the three main sources of idea generation for me. Maybe it's because I'm clearing my head.
Mine is swimming.
Okay.
Because staring at that black line forever is, you just start going into your happy place, start thinking. And riding in a car by myself.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes also when reading a book.
Oh, sure.
If I'm reading a book, but basically it's a question, it's a quote, it's a phrase, it's some sort of inspiration. All right. That's the idea. Where else can ideas for creating content come from?
Did you see Carlin's comment?
He said, what about a roulette randomizing scripts to mix them up? One arm bandit script from Vegas. Actually, Carlin, that's a great thought, and it's going through my head right now. And if the content marketing manager is a script that will do that. It's inside of content marketing scripts, which you have access to because you're in the Jim Edwards Method Premium. But yes, I've been thinking about that as well. That's why I'm trying to come up with this, because I can come up with a script. Okay, so, but an idea for it, and Leslie said ideas have come from you guys, honestly. Okay, so it's a question, it's a quote, it's a phrase, it's inspiration. It's wherever the idea comes from. All right, and also there are wizards. Can come from a thing, can come from an experience. Okay, I'm not
conversation with somebody.
Conversation, right? So, I guess what I'm looking for though here, if we're gonna think this through, and I am thinking, an actual thing that you could use as the stimulus, as the idea, the focus of the thing. A question, definitely, because a question always needs a what? An answer. It needs an answer. A quote makes you think of stuff. A phrase, same thing. A phrase, a word. That's why the word of the day. Some sort of inspiration from somewhere. But again, this is, if I had to say what this is actually the source of the idea. You know what? So maybe this isn't the idea, but rather this is these are source. So I'm going to take these out because these aren't what I'm looking for. And I'm not 100% sure what I'm looking for, but a question, a quote, a phrase, someone else's content, or a reaction, an opinion. Well, I don't know. I got to think on this, because this isn't really the idea. This is what would we say? A question, a quote, a phrase. It's like, this is the stimulus. This is the method. This is the
topic.
No, it's not the topic. It's the seed of the idea. It's the seed of what you're going to create the content around, but that's not the topic. It's I don't know. It's like, I have this question is what I'm going to make my content about. This quote is what I'm going to make my content about. This phrase, this word, this thing. Carlin said it's a theme.
Let me tell you something that I did yesterday.
Okay.
I was on TikTok, and there's always somebody, that's a swimmer saying, what is this? I'm showing this combat side stroke, right?
Right.
What is this thing? And it was a question like, why does the military use this and not traditional swimming strokes for a fitness test to get these jobs? Right. It was a great question. So I just texted that to myself or emailed it to myself, and that is my topic for today. It wasn't necessarily a question directed at me. It was just a question about two different possibilities, coming from someone who doesn't know. This guy is a swimmer, but has never seen the combat side stroke before.
Okay, in 60 seconds or less, why does the military use the combat swimmer stroke or the combat side stroke as opposed to regular strokes?
It is more stealthy and it makes less noise.
Okay.
So, and at night, it looks like a critter in the water. It doesn't look like a human in the water.
Okay. That's cool. That's it's is it easier to
Yes.
maintain? Is it easier to maintain over a longer duration than a traditional swimming stroke?
Absolutely, and more efficient.
Okay, so that just made me think of, okay, a question, a quote, a phrase, a word, someone's comment, other content. This is the stimulus. This is the stimulus. There's a question I want to answer. There's a quote. There's a phrase. There's a whatever. Okay. And then the script or wizard that you're going to use, we got 50 of them. You know, in the Jim Edwards method, literally there's 50 scripts inside of content marketing scripts. I think there's like 15 or 16. Okay. And we're going to be adding a new one every quarter. But this right here, if you kind of know how to recognize it's a seed of an idea, you know, and let's call it an idea seed. You know, some kind of a stimulus that starts the whole thing. You know, I guess this could be the idea. You know, it's
Right.
This is ideation. Okay, it's ideation, creation, distribution. But then over here, okay, so how does all this stuff tie in? So the message is tip, opinion, review, critique, list, rant, secret, curate, demo, article, blog post. And the blog post thing actually belongs on channel.
Yeah.
So what this would just be article. It would be article.
Right.
The article can be used as a blog post. So that's okay. I mean, that's not, I'm fine tuning this in real time. If anybody's interested, great. If you're not, great. But it's like, okay.
Yeah, I guess it should have just said blog, not blog post. Like an article or a blog. I don't know. No one calls articles anymore. They call them
I
a
know.
blog. You know, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
I know.
you know, I write articles. I don't write blogs.
I understand. So let me ask you this: where in this does so? But this channel is distribution.
Yeah.
Okay. The mode. So I'm gonna do something here. And again, if everybody's excited to watch this, great. If you tune out, that's okay. I will continue this.
Or method of distribution, mode of distribution. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, I'm just going to move this here. And then distribution is the last thing. So I'm going to move this. Am I boring you yet?
No, this is good. I mean, you're trying to figure out an easy way to
explain this stuff.
600 options.
Right, but I'm also trying to make it make sense. So distribution's the last thing. So this is distribution. You're going to put it on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, your blog, website, email, newsletter. I'm sure there's some other crap in here, and other, okay, like Medium and things like that. The Pinterest is already on there. So the mode is actually the part of creation. And then the tip or the method or the opinion, the review, the create that's really the angle of creation, if that makes sense.
Sure.
What is it? We'll call this the angle. Okay, so here's what it looks like.
Cool thing about this, Jim, is we're watching your brain work right now.
I know, which probably should scare the shit out of you.
No, it's actually fascinating.
Okay. All right. So there's an idea seed. There's some sort of stimulus. Somebody asks a question. There's a quote. There's a phrase or a word. Someone's comment, other content, whatever. There's some kind of an idea seed. Then you decide. So this is the ideation part. And then the creation part is 3 parts. All right. The creation is, okay, the angle. And then it's figuring out which script am I going to use to create my tip, my opinion, my review, my critique, my list, my rant, my secret, my curation, whatever. So then it's like, okay, what am I going to do? Then which script do I need? Which script do I need? So what we need to do is take this and make a list of, if you want to do a tip, here are the scripts you would use. I seriously want to do this, Stu. Okay.
I like it.
If you want to do an opinion piece, then this is the script you use. If you want to do a review, if you want to do a critique, these, those might go together. But if you want to do a list, you want to do a rant, you want to secret, curate, demo, article. So what we need to do is figure out, okay, what's the type of angle you want to take? And depending on your angle, here's the script you want to use. Then use a script. So won't worry about it. Okay. I guess if you use 3 fingers, it makes everything disappear. So then it's 1, 2, choose script or wizard. Then 3, create, it's output.
Yep.
And then distribution. So
nice.
The thing, I kind of knew all this stuff, but seeing it like this, it's like, okay, well, somebody asked this question. Now, in response to this question, do I just want to answer the question, or do I want to take this question and do I want to do like a demo to answer it? What's the best way to answer this question? What's the angle? So here's the stimulus. What's the angle? And then based on that angle, what's the script? I use the script. And then I choose my output, okay, based on the script. So, I mean, these kind of go together. And then I distribute it. And he's starting the crap out of, he's scaring the crap out of normal people? No. This is, I can make this simple. I got to understand the pattern. Once I understand the pattern, I can make it simple. Hey, if you want to start doing a bunch with questions, like when we talk next time, it's like, hey, if you want to, one of the easiest ways to get started is with questions. So if you want to do a question, you want to choose the angle that you're going to do. So the question, you just want to give them a simple, quick answer. Do you want to just give them your opinion about the answer? Do you want to review a product that holds the answer? Do you want to give them a list of answers? Do you want to give a rant about that question? You see what I mean? And then it's like, okay, based on which one you want to do, use one of these scripts to create it. And then once you have output the script, now you can do it as text, depending on the script. They lend themselves other ways, but you could do a quick video, you could do a screen capture, do a demo. So like if I was going to answer a question and give my opinion, I would probably do, use the 60-second tidbit wizard or the Facebook Live wizard to give my 1, 2, 3 opinion on this whole thing. I would do it as a live video, and then I would put it out there on whatever stuff I chose. If somebody asked a question of, hey, how do you do this, or how are you able to do this? And I'm like, oh, I need to do a demo of a piece of software or wizard, which means I'm going to use the demo wizard to create a really, really cool demo, which that's in Funnel Scripts. And I'm going to use screen capture video to do that. And then I'm going to distribute it wherever it makes the most sense. So this is creating a framework that I wouldn't really set everybody loose with this. Would be like Stu giving everybody a list of exercises and saying, hey, go exercise. What?
Yeah.
You know, but now, at least for me, I can see the progression and see the big picture and be able to explain how to do a certain thing. Like you want to do quotes, great. Quote, you're pretty much going to use the quote wizard. That's a straight line.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is you can output that as text. You can do it as screen capture video. You could do it as a series of pictures. You could do it as a live video. You could do it as a podcast. You could even do it as a webinar. And then you could distribute it all over the place. So, hey.
You know something I did the other day? I used the quote wizard with a testimonial.
Oh, I know you did. You did a great job on that too, man.
Worked really well, yeah.
And it crushed it. So I'm excited about this because it's now, if you want it, now we talk from a marketing standpoint, we got 5 different main stimulus, okay? We got the different angles. We got that combined with wizards. If I was just talking about, 50 wizards. So we did this math last time, I think, or we didn't do it. I did a bad job with it. But, we got 5 sources of stimulation. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different angles. We got, let's say, 50 scripts. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different outputs. That's 20,000 different combinations. And then distribution and everything else, let's say there's 10. That's 200,000 different combinations.
You just blew my mind.
Yeah, content marketing doesn't work. It's boring. It's the same thing over there. But what most people do is that they just do a Facebook Live, and they do a couple Facebook Lives, and then they say, okay, this doesn't work. But the key is understanding where to get some stimulation that anybody gives a crap about, and then tying it in with, what your angle is, and then using the right tools to get it done super fast, outputting it in a way that makes the most sense, and then getting distribution for it and doing it in a time that we're all young enough to see and get results. So I know that this is like this is me thinking right in front of you. Okay. The great news is you didn't have to pay for this. Paid with a little bit of time. And I guarantee, this is inside the mind of Jim. So, there you go.
Well, that's what I try to do. I try to show people inside the mind of Jim.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of those open-ended questions, obviously, because you took it and ran with it, and broke it down even more than I thought it could be broken down. So I like that. I'll rearrange the chart as well. I'll post it in the Facebook group so you guys can kind of see it cleaned up a little bit, and maybe we'll discuss it further with actual scripts next time.
Yeah, I think if we wanted to talk about questions, just what you said, talking about questions and stuff, questions, quotes, and quick stuff, we can do that over the next few weeks. That'll keep us busy through this season. So
yeah.
All right, cool. Well, that's all I got. That's enough. My brain kind of hurts a little bit, but there you go. Okay. Well, great job, Stu. I know it was just kind of me going off at my whiteboard, but it seems to be what I do lately. That's okay. All right.
We got a few minutes. You got a few comments. Looks like Carlin's got some neat
Carlin said,
progression. Yep.
Using a tree metaphor, root is the ideation stimulus, trunk is the angle, creation script, branches, output, distribution, tree. That's interesting.
I like that metaphor.
He said this process framework overview discussion is the understanding to pull all this together. It's definitely, I could do a $20,000 mastermind on that. Leslie said this is helpful. That's awesome. All right. And Miles says I'm going to scare the crap out of normal people. It's okay. All right. Well, I mean, that's what I got. So appreciate y'all, and we will see you next week on the Jim and Stu Show and the Sales Copywriting Content Marketing Hacks podcast. And so everybody keep your eye out for the invitation to the Content Marketing Secrets webinar, and we'll see you there.